What's up, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of Gemini Soulcast. I am Sin Vega, and this is my co-host.
What's good, everybody? My name is Rob Chen. We're so excited for everybody to be here on our first ever episode.
I know!
We've been talking about this for a while now.
For a while. Here we are.
To get everybody acquainted with us.
Yes.
Can you first, I want to know about you. I know about you, but I want other people to know about you as well. So, number one, what is the purpose of this podcast? And then number two, how did we come here? How did we get here?
Yo, this is going to be a very educational podcast, a very fun podcast, where we're going to talk about spirituality, manifestation.
I love that. Because I just figured that we've had so many of these types of conversations that now we're like, let's create a podcast.
Let's just do it.
But I remember specifically how this all came down.
First, do you?
Yeah, in a way.
Please share.
So for those who don't know, Sid and I were friends. We've known each other for a little bit over a year now. We met last year because I was working on a Broadway show called Here Lies Love, the first all-Filipino Broadway cast. And her daughter, Jade, was one of my coworkers. So then on the opening night party, that's when we met. And what happened during the dinner table?
We were at the dinner table, and I had just met you at the time and a significant other. I'm just going to say that. Well, it's true. So there was like a group of us. We were at the table, and then it just so happens that you came and sat next to me. And then I remember us having like conversation. And then I said something, or you mentioned that you were Gemini, right?
Yeah.
And then I said, oh, you're a Gemini? Me too. And I got super excited. And then I said, oh, when's your birthday? And he says...
I say, my birthday's June 11th.
And I said, you better stop playing. You better shut up. You're playing with me.
And I'm like, what? Why?
And I said, because that's my birthday. We have the same birthday.
It's crazy. As Geminis, we officially became Gemini twins from there.
Yes.
I think it's all synchronicity. I think it's all meant to happen in a way.
Yes. Yeah, I think so too. Because I was like, I don't know, like our conversation just flowed. And I remember that I had just started doing like TikTok. I was going live on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I had just shared it with you. Like, oh, I just started going live on TikTok and I'm being consistent and I'm doing my thing. And you were like, wow, really? Like, you know, I used to do it too and whatever else. But the whole point is like, you were like, wow, I got to check it out. Let me follow you. And then like we started following each other. And I saw you had like a big community already. And I was like at 3,000 or something.
Yeah. But it was so cool to see you just progressively work on it. And now you have over 11K. I feel like as you're growing your TikTok, your community, and just like becoming a stronger force.
Yes.
I feel like I'm learning about that within myself too. And I want to be able to have that time where we sit down to kind of explore the world of mediumship, of like spirituality, of manifestation, because I do believe that there is some source out there.
Oh yeah.
I believe in it.
Yes.
You know, and I feel like part of my reason of being here is because I want to pick your brains out about this. Like,
well, you know, I love to talk about it. So I'm here to answer any of your questions.
Awesome. Well, I want to just start off first then. I want to ask, like, how did this start for you? Like, because, like, it's not like everybody just says, oh, I'm a psychic medium every day.
No. It's a journey. It's a journey. Like, there's a lot of psychic mediums or psychics or, you know, spiritualists in general that have always known since like childhood, you know, like they just knew, or they would speak on, because sometimes you hear like they'll speak on how they used to see spirit, or like as a child, like they had a spirit that used to play with them and things like that.
It's crazy.
And for me, I didn't experience that, but I did have like my first out of body at like 5 years old. So
tell me about that.
In that sense, it's just like you're dreaming. And I remember like I go to sleep, I'm dreaming. And for some reason, like I stand up and I turn around and I'm looking at myself sleeping in my bed. Like I could see myself in my bed. I could see my brother sleeping because like we had 2 twin beds. Like we shared the room. And my brother like sleeping there. And then like all of a sudden I don't want to say that you're like sucked up towards the ceiling, but I flew up towards the ceiling. And I remember it was like going up to like the corner, and then I could see from like up top, and I could see the entire room. Yeah. So it was weird for me. It was like, oh, that was a weird, cool dream. Like, once again, like things are happening to me, but I'm 5. What do I know?
Right.
Nobody's talking to me about these things. And then like I'm going to school. That's the other thing. And I'm seeing people's auras in school, and I'm thinking, oh, this is just like the norm. And I'm just assuming that everybody's seeing what I see. And it's weird because like one thing that I never knew I had either was like I can read photos through photos. As long as a person's eyes are like very clear, I can tell you about that person. Any photo.
What?
Yeah, any photo I can tell you about them.
Oh my God.
Did I never share this part?
No.
I don't think I shared
No,
this
you didn't.
part.
No.
Yeah. So I'm able to like read that way.
You've always been able to do that as well?
I think that I've always just like, yeah, like it's so weird because like I remember in high school, and I joke about this, but it's true. Like some people would call me Cupid because I would like, you know, when you're in school and you're like hooking people up, like you're that middle person.
Yeah. You're matchmaking.
I was able to like matchmake people or just know like, oh, you should date this person, or like, oh, you should give that guy a chance. And a lot of these people were like, they wound up dating for like a long time. So It's just, I don't know if it was energy or, you know, it's just that, like that side of me, that spiritual side of me that's, you know, that I could kind of determine like who's a good person, who isn't, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, like people can send me, even now, like if somebody wants a one-on-one reading and they're like, hey, can I send you photos of like, you know, my grandfather that passed and things like that? And I'll look, as long as I can see the eyes, I'll be able to tell you things about that person.
What?
Might
That's
have to
amazing.
test it out with Rob.
No. I would be curious to, I would like to learn.
Yeah.
Wow. But from what you've told me, you've known about this for a long time. Like you knew you had this gift and power.
For a long time.
But what did you actively try to work on that, or was that something that you kind of realized later on?
No, because when spirit is trying to connect with you or trying to like give you messages at times, and sometimes like which there's a lot of people out here that are open to spirit, and some of you don't know or don't realize or do and are afraid of it. I feel that my fear of spirit and ghosts and things like that came from not knowing, you know, the things that I have learned up until now, like going through psychic development classes and things like that. Like, so that fear, so that's why now I'm not that afraid.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid. Like, I used to be afraid, like, just to be by myself sometimes. Like, if I'm home by myself, I hear a little noise, I'm like, what the heck is that? Like, I start thinking, like, the worst.
I think that's very normal, though, to feel that way.
But I'm thinking, like, there's, like, a bad spirit here or something. Like, that's where my head would go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That, yeah.
And, like, and being a Catholic, growing up Catholic, you're thinking, too, there's some satanic thing here. There's some demon here, like, some demonic thing. Like, you can think about that, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now that I've gone through my classes and I've tapped into this side of me, right? Because the other thing is, too, is, like, when you share parts of you, that this side of you, there's a lot of skeptics. So it's going to be people that are going to question what you're saying. And if they don't believe, they're going to try to talk you out of you believing in yourself. Because technically, it's talking, you're trying to talk me out of believing in myself, because this is a gift that I have. This is a side of me. You know, this is part of me. And people will try to tell you, no, that's not how it works, or because that's their belief. You know what I'm saying? So I don't push my beliefs on anybody. Like, this is what I believe. This is what it is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it took me a long time to out myself.
Or to just get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Or just get out of your own way.
Right. Oh, my gosh. That's crazy. You've known for a long time. You've always had this power. Wasn't until later. Yeah. This gift, right? Yes. So, I guess, how does one know?
I mean, I don't think there's any right or wrong way to know. But I do feel like if you start believing, or if you do believe, even if you believe in ghosts, right? And a ghost does something, right? You're going to believe even more, right? Because it's happening around you. But I feel like spirit, they try to give you signs, or they try to connect with you, or they're trying to or sometimes they might bring people into your life. When you do get curious, all of a sudden it's like you start meeting people that also believe in spirit, also believe in manifestation, also believe in psychic mediumship and all that, and that you can connect with the other side and all types of things. You know what I mean?
It's like law of attraction.
Yes, in a sense. Yeah, because you're focusing on it.
Yeah.
Right? And you want to know more about it. So then, okay, sure. Let's bring in this person. Like you.
Right.
You wanted to know whatever. All of a sudden, like, you and Jade meet at Here Lies Love. And it's like, yo, okay, let me ask her.
Yeah.
She's a psychic medium. Let me speak to her. Then boom, you meet Jade. Then you start hanging out with Jade. Then you meet me.
Right. And then it's game over.
And it's game over.
And now we have a podcast.
Right. And some people could look at it like, well, that's a coincidence. Is it really, though? Because there's too much synchronicities, too. When you're trying to, like, have anything in your life. Doesn't just mean, like, spiritual awakening. You know, like, sometimes you can dream about a job. And then all of a sudden, like, you meet, like, what happened to you?
Yeah.
When you were like, I need an agent. What happened to you? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you do, because you're the one who told me it's your life.
The agent, yeah.
But how did that happen? Wasn't that like almost like lined up? Like
it was lined up. It was one of those. So I pretty much what Sin was talking about was I had a moment last year where my manager stopped managing me. She left the whole industry completely, and I was just like, I think it's just time to get an agent. And then didn't think too much about it. I wasn't actively looking, and then one day there's this lady who was blind. She couldn't see, and so I was doing grocery shopping. I saw her pass by, and I was like, hey, can I help you cross the street? And then I helped her cross the street. We started to talk. She's like, what do you do? Oh, yeah, I'm an actor. I was like, oh, what about you? I said, oh, I'm a songwriter. I said, oh, really cool. I was like, are you signed with any agent? I was like, no, not right now. And she said, okay, well, 2 days from now, my friend, he's part of an agency. It's a little small boutique agency. They have a holiday party. You should come. I go there with her, help her out, and I'm in there. I was feeling the festive givingness where I coat check. There's a lady behind me, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to pay for everybody's coat check. I pay for my coat check. I pay for the blind lady pay for her coat check. Her name's Audrey. And I pay for the lady behind me. I pay for her coat check. Turns out that lady behind me is the head of the film and TV department of that agency. Yeah, it was one of those incidents where I just thought in my mind, yeah, I think now's the time. I spoke it into existence, and naturally it happened.
Yes.
I think part of manifestation is like not needing to force anything.
Right.
It is about trusting in the process and in the universe that when you ask for it, it's going to come to you.
Right.
It may not always come to you exactly the way you want, but it might even be even better than what you've expected. You don't know.
No.
Until you get there.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that was. And I also believe in moments like this where we met, seeing you going on your journey and then you seeing me going on my journey. Mm-hmm. It continues to confirm that, spirit is working with us,
right.
That our team of light is working with us, that the universe, that God, that whatever that thing is out there is there.
It's there.
We just got to tap into it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's why you always hear too, like, that we're all connected. You ever hear this? Like, we're all connected. And we are.
We're connected,
energetically,
baby.
We are. Mm-hmm. We are. And that's why, like, you can walk into a room and when you have, like, a strong relationship, too, with your intuition. And that's one thing. Everybody has their intuition.
Right.
But some people just don't want to accept it.
I feel like some people, especially in today's society, we want to focus on the frontal part of our brain, the logical side of things.
Yes.
We want to rationalize everything, plan everything, versus the intuition part. Our gut is it could be telling us something completely different.
Yes, it could.
Yeah,
it could. But that's the thing is, like, people need to understand too is that what you want isn't always what you need. It's really not.
Speak on that.
It's really not. It's like, you know, you'll have people too, like, let's just say like, oh, I really want this job. Like, this is the job that I want because this is my dream job. This is the one I'm going to grow in and all that. And then they're so focused on it, right? They go to the interview, they come out, they don't get it. And they're like, oh, I can't believe it. That's it. It's never going to happen for me. They start like the pity party, I want to say. I have learned through like manifestation, through like my own journey, when a door closes, trust and believe, that means there's a better one opening. You have to believe that though. You have to know like, okay, so I didn't get this position, right? This is my dream job, the dream industry. I didn't get it. But you know what? That's okay, because that means that I'm going to get something better. And it could very well be that there'll be more money involved, or you'll be able to have more of a work-life balance, like things like that.
It's true.
Or sometimes you have to connect with somebody, right? That's going to help you level up in the industry, but you weren't going to get that opportunity had you gotten the first job.
Right.
Like, you have to just kind of like trust the process.
I have a hard time sometimes trusting in the process.
Mm-hmm. Which is the human thing. We all go through that.
How do you, I guess, as a human, as a regular humanoid,
yes,
in societal ways, how do you let go of that expectation or control and learn how to trust? Like, where does that come in?
I think it just comes from surrendering. You're surrendering into, and you're accepting the fact that, yes, this will come to me and I don't have to do anything to control that. Because people want to control. You know why they want to control? Because of their fears. Because they're thinking, I didn't get this, so now I'm afraid that I'm never going to get in there, because if they rejected me, that means, this other company will reject me or whatever. Like whatever limiting beliefs we tell ourselves, because that's what we do too. We limit ourselves. We limit ourselves, like we really do. So then we use that fear as like almost like an excuse, right? It's almost the same thing when you're looking for proof to prove that you're right about your thought.
Confirmation bias.
Right.
Yeah.
You got that? You understand this, right? Like, yeah. So in some ways too, it's like, this is my dream job and whatever, but you still have doubts. Like subconsciously too, you deal with doubts. That comes up. Oh, what if I don't get it? Oh, if I don't get this, it's never going to happen for me. And there's too many of us that just go down that rabbit hole. So then they don't get this opportunity, and then they're wondering like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Why didn't I get it? This, that, and the third. And sometimes people will be like, well, I knew it. I knew I wasn't going to get it. Well, did you? Did you not just like manifest that? Did you not like add to that?
Yeah. You 100% added to that. That's all on you at that point. Because you had that doubt, and you just let that murky energy cloud what was already really good.
Right.
Even though it's meant for you. And I feel like a lot of times we don't even believe that it's true. Mm-hmm. Like it could be too good to be true, that quote.
Yes.
Right? So then we start guessing, like, what's the catch?
Yes.
Why is this happening? Yep. This is so good. There has to be something off about it. And then long and behold, later on, you find out that there's something off about it, and you're like, yes, I knew I was right.
Right.
But you only knew that it was right because you told yourself that you were right.
Right.
Whatever you think is right is right. Right?
It starts with you. It starts with you.
It always starts with you.
So whatever story you're saying to yourself, whatever you're putting out into the world, it's going to be reflected back to you.
So during this break right now, we're going to be pulling an affirmation card for this episode. Episode 1.
Here we go.
Wow. Okay, so the card that I picked out was, I love my body.
Hey!
I love my body.
There we go.
And at the back, there's a nice little message behind it too. It says, I create peacefulness in my mind, and my body reflects this peacefulness as perfect health.
Ooh.
I love that. That's amazing.
Urgent message.
Right, because we're here in the sirens. We're here in New York City. So an urgent message for anybody, and about health too.
And about health.
And your body.
Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. Continue to love your body. And always, I'll repeat the affirmation one last time. I create peacefulness in my mind, and my body reflects this peacefulness as perfect health. Now back to the episode.
Manifestation starts with you. But I always say spirits are real. To me, completely 100%. Like, you know, we transition. We have family, friends on the other side who try to support us. You know, and then we have our own spirit guides. And then we have our angel guides. Like, we have like a whole team. So I always I'd say my people. Like, I call them my people. And then sometimes on a live, like when people come back on, like when I do the yes or no questions on TikTok, and people will come and give me confirmation. And I love confirmation because that means like, oh, me and my people, my spirit team, we did a great job. So now sometimes I'll be like, oh, high five. Like, you know, I go like this.
We did it.
Right. Because when you do go to a psychic, when you do go to like a medium or a tarot card reader or anything, an oracle card reader, you're basically getting advice. It's advice. It's guidance, yes, but it is up to you to take that or not. And for me, a lot of times when you get a reading, it's telling you about you right now. A lot of times it's about what's going on right now. So you might want to just look at whatever's being said to you like, oh, maybe I have to work on this. Like sometimes they're giving you that message for a reason because you're trying to manifest something or you're trying to create something in your life and you're afraid or you're limiting yourself or, you know, whatever your belief is. And spirit is like, hey, just put the energy into you, like focus onto you. Because what we're doing is we're constantly thinking about everything outside of us.
Oh my gosh.
It's true. And like, even like in love, when people want to manifest their, you know, love or a specific person or have a relationship, we're so focused on them that we lose ourselves. Whew. So you'll get a reading and the majority of the readings that I do, Spirit will say, love yourself first.
Right.
You deserve love.
Right.
And until you believe that and until you start giving yourself that love, you're not going to receive the love that you deserve, that you should have. Yes, you can manifest love. But if you're calling it in and then you're not believing it either when it shows up, that's the other thing. We wait for the shoe to drop. Is this really happening?
Yeah.
Is this person really emotionally available? Is this really healthy? Like you start questioning everything because you're so used to the chaos, the unhealthy, the toxic. So now you finally get what it is that you ask and you still kind of like, is this for real? And you kind of back up. Some people back up. Some people, you know, we just question everything. But again, it's coming from us. It's coming from us. Spirit is there to basically that. So your spirit guide is trying to guide you.
It's almost like when you give somebody a reading or when you receive a reading, it's like a snapshot of where you are currently in your life. Mm-hmm. The advice that you're being given is always the advice that you need to hear at that moment. In that moment. So then, do you feel like, say, for example, either an advice or a prediction, rather, could that change?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it can always change. And
okay.
I say that all the time too. Because no matter what, yes, I do believe we have free will and energy changes. Mm-hmm. Things can change. You can make one decision and it's going to throw you completely off of what spirit first told you. But that's the whole point. We came here to play. We came to the earth plane to play the game of life, right? And we make our decisions, and our decisions is what leads us to the next level. Right. Or sometimes we go left, gotta make our way back. And spirit is just trying to guide you back. They're trying to just keep you on the right track. It's really what they're doing.
Speaking about the right track then, do you believe in fate?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. But I feel like you mean like when you meet someone?
In general, like your destiny, whether or not it's you meeting that person or even like your own life purpose and path.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. I also believe, like, as a spiritualist, that we chose this life that we're on right now, even though some of us are going through it, or we're having a lot of like really bad experiences, but we chose to come to the earth plane to learn these lessons. We chose it. Just like we chose our soul family, which you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So your soul tribe, your soul family, like we chose these people. We chose our parents. And some of us can't stand our parents. I love my parents, but you know,
but
and all that.
For example, even if you still say you have a bad relationship with your parents,
Yes.
Your soul still chose that.
Yes. It chose it. It chose
Why?
it too because that's the whole point. The lessons that we're learning. The whole point of like the game of life is to like vibrate higher each and every time, right? Like we learn, right? We learn as we go here.
Yeah.
We're growing, we're evolving. So it's almost like you're working on your level. I'm just going to say level, but like vibrational, I'm going to say vibrational levels, right? So you're working on that. And the whole point is to get to as close to God as possible.
So being able to vibrate on a really high frequency.
Yes.
Right.
And we're learning these lessons so that moving forward, we can apply them. Because if we're not learning it, we're going to keep manifesting and creating the same type of people, you know, the same type of situations with different people. It's going to be on a loop.
Oh my gosh. That's a whole cycle. And it's like doing the same thing, expecting different results. We call that insanity. Yeah. And that's when we feel like our life is crazy and it drives us insane.
Yes.
And I guess like for example, in Eastern religion and spirituality, that's where the whole like reincarnation comes in play, where you might be reincarnating again and again and again because you did not learn that life lesson in your previous life.
Right.
And now you're going to come back again to like, learn this part.
Right.
And if you don't get it this time around, you got to learn it another time around.
Right.
I do like what you said about how like we come to this earth to play.
We do.
You know, I also I read a book this year called Many Lives, Many Masters.
Yes. I know what book you're talking about.
And it's
Brian
about
Weiss, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Dr. Brian Weiss. And he talks about how he hypnotizes his patient and she recalls like the 80 different past lives that she's had.
Yes.
And at one part of the book, he talks about how, oh yeah, we're here on this earth. We're like on borrowed time. And then after that, we go back home.
Yes.
Like when we pass in the physical plane, what really happens is that we go back home.
We go back home.
Like, so it's almost like we're here to learn, do our thing here.
Yes.
And then we return.
Yes. We come here to do our thing, to learn, to grow, to experience. And that's why they say, like, some people don't learn. They don't learn the lessons, so they keep coming back until they learn it, which is why they say people have past lives. Because some of us keep coming to learn, to learn, to learn.
And everybody has, would you say everybody has a different life lesson to learn, or is it all the same? Like as human beings, we're all came here to learn the same thing.
No, I feel like we kind of choose what lesson we want to learn. Like some of us come here to learn about forgiveness. You know, some of us come here to learn about lessons when it comes to relationships, to love lessons, money lessons. It just really, you know, depends.
Do you have an idea what your life lesson is on this, at least in this life?
I do.
Yeah?
I already learned one. Forgiveness. Forgiveness was huge.
Why was forgiveness a big one for you?
Because I learned it because one time, like in the past, of course, somebody hurt one of my family members, like really, really badly. And I witnessed the whole situation. I witnessed everything. And my family member was able to forgive them, but I held on to that anger for 8 years.
Wow.
And it has nothing to do with me, like, personally in that sense, you know, because it's like a relationship thing. I wasn't in that relationship in that sense, but since I saw my family member in so much pain, I was like, yo, like, no. But she forgave him. And at one point, too, is like, she didn't speak to me for like 3 months. So, yeah. But then we got past that and whatever. And then, even like old supervisor of mine, which is the one also that directed me to take psychic development classes, she kept telling me, like, you gotta let go of that. Like, why are you carrying that? It's not yours to carry. It's not your burden to bear. It's not, you know. And I'm just like, I don't know, like every time I would think about it, it would still trigger me because I saw this family member in so much emotional pain. Like I couldn't let it go. And then I realized, like, after 8 years, and that's the thing, is like, at some point we're gonna learn, like, if we stick to it. And then I just decided, like, you know what, she's still with him or whatever, she's, they've been together this whole time or whatever else. She forgave him, why am I holding on
Right.
when it wasn't done directly to me? So then I decided to forgive. I forgave him or whatever. Wow. And it was like a huge weight lifted. And now it's like, yeah, I can get upset at people, but with forgiveness, it's easier for me to forgive.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I could keep asking you all these questions. I know that there's so much that I still want to ask, but I think that's why we have this whole season.
Yep, we have the whole season to learn about that, to learn about you.
Y'all don't even know about me yet, do you?
Don't know about Rob yet. We're about to find out.
Y'all about to find out. For sure. Definitely. Something that I always want to preface for anybody of us who's listening, whether you're listening on Spotify or if you're watching us on YouTube or through TikTok, is to always like ask us for any questions. If there's any type of like topic, any type of thing that you want us to discuss and talk about, please share that with us. Yes. I guess if I were to like, I guess bow tie it, right? Bow tie this first episode. What is something that you hope to do?
You mean futuristically?
Yeah. Like now that you're in this position now, right? I'm assuming that a few years ago, you had a desire to use your gift more, to develop your gift more, to help other people, and you are doing that now.
Yeah, I'm reaching a lot more people now, which was the whole point.
Right.
Yeah, like even with the TikTok lives, it's the whole point.
You're here.
It's about like connecting, finding ways to connect with more people than like say one-on-one.
Right. All right.
Type of environment.
For sure. And so it's almost as though you've been climbing this one mountain, and now that I feel you're reaching that top of the mountain, and right as you're reaching the top of the mountain, there's another mountain.
We're leveling up, baby.
We're leveling up. So for you, how does that mountain look like now? Ooh, this new mountain.
I do see a lot.
Yeah?
I see a lot. Like, I definitely wanted to do a podcast. Like, I wanted to get into like doing my own thing. And at some point, I will do a podcast, like with just me, like what I do on TikTok. Like, I'm just talking like different topics. But this podcast gets me excited.
Me too.
It gets me excited too because I've always had like vision when it comes to podcasting. Like, and it's not about like, oh, things need to happen right now. It's nothing like that. But to find the matching energy as far as the vision,
right,
that took a little time, and here we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So for me, like, I can't wait till we do Gemini Soulcast in person.
Hey,
putting it out there.
I love that.
I can't wait to do that because I feel that it's always great to like connect with people like in person, like in a group setting too. So I see that, and I don't know why I keep seeing like at some point I'm gonna be on the radio.
Wait, that's been a big dream for yours.
It's been a huge dream for me, and I just feel like it's going to happen. Like, it's gonna happen. And even if I don't get my own show, even though it would be cool, like, hey, Gemini Soulcast might wind up on a radio station. I'm just saying.
iHeartRadio coming for your ass.
You got to speak it into existence, right? Like,
exactly.
But I just feel like at some point it's gonna be out of like a radio station. Like, I'm gonna have it, whether it's a day, whether it's a week. Gonna have it. And I keep getting too, like, people would tell me like, oh, Sin, you should have a podcast. I would tune in, like, especially this past year on TikTok.
Nice.
I would tune in if you just, because sometimes I go on my little rants.
Of course. a little
advice.
Your little Gemini talk.
Yeah, like we do our little talks.
Right.
And we go on that, and then people are like, oh, you should definitely have a podcast. And it just happened the other day, and I was like, oh, I'm doing one. And I'm doing one with Rob, who does Keys to Romance with me on TikTok, y'all.
And for those who don't know what Keys to Romance is, what is it?
Oh, you tell them. So you're gonna tell them. Tell them.
Okay, so starting around, I believe like at the end of last year, Sin and I were talking about how we wanted to do a collab on TikTok Live, and so we decided to create something where I would play piano, like love songs on the piano, these covers, and if anybody guesses the name of the title correctly, as well as the artist correctly, you would get a free love reading from Sin. So it became something called Keys to Romance.
Yes.
And I love doing that.
I love it. We have so much fun.
It's a lot of fun. I love when people get so excited when they guess the song right and then they get the reading from you.
Right.
And then we reflect upon each reading and we talk about it.
Yes.
I think I don't know what it is, but I always feel energized when I get to like talk to you about these topics, and because I'm like, yes, these are things I love to talk about.
That's what I'm saying. We're matching energy. The energy is like aligned right there.
You know, part of it could be we share the same birthday.
Could be that. And then all the girls, when they start flirting with Rob, they're like, oh my God, Rob. And then when Rob isn't on and I'm on my own live, they're like, oh, when I mention Keys to Romance, they're like, Rob, with like the little eye emojis like to the side. And I'm like, here we go.
I'm flattered.
And they're like, oh, we love Rob. And when I mentioned that I was doing a podcast with Rob, they were all like, ooh, with Rob? Ooh,
oh
like
God.
They got so excited.
My wig. Hold my wig.
So this is about to be a fun season, y'all. It's going to be great.
I'm so excited for this. This is going to be incredible. And so definitely tune in for episode 2 and for many more episodes to come. Is there any last things that you want to say to our fans out here?
No, just tune in. Give us a review. Give us 5 stars.
All right.
Love on us. And where can they reach us if they want to submit their ideas? They can email us, right?
You can email us at Gemini Soulcast at gmail.com. You could also follow us at on social media at GeminiSoulcast.com. We also have our own personal TikTok and Instagram that we use too.
Yes.
And you can always message us through there as well.
Message us on there. I'm under at Café con Sin. That's Coffee with Sin, y'all. CIN.
I love that. And for me, it is at Rob Chen here on both TikTok and Instagram. Before we close out on everything, I do want to say something for you as well as for everybody listening or watching, which is this is something that this is our first episode. It's our inaugural episode.
Yes.
And for me, this is almost like a new beginning. And so for anybody listening out there, whether you're feeling lost or you feel like you're not fully sure what the direction is, it's okay. There could be things in life that don't go according to plan. There could be things in life that's flowing really well. No matter what, embrace the change and embrace the new beginnings. These new beginnings allow you to look at more of yourself. And we're now in autumn right now. It's officially fall. So embrace the leaves changing if you are on the East Coast, for example. You know, like embrace the energies that are changing. Embrace the change that you see in yourself. These new beginnings is just another way for you to look at yourself and say, oh, wow, look, this is another way for me to connect with myself again and to love myself. So that's my little message for you guys.
Yeah. Just be open to receive.
Be open to receive. And speaking of that, hope you receive this podcast well.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you. Once again, my name is Rob.
My name is Sin.
And you have tuned in to Gemini Soulcast.
First one, y'all.
Hey.
First one.